bagpipes, but when you think of it as it's a traditional, we play traditional instruments. The instrument itself, the bagpipes, were supposedly, they predate Christ. They're supposedly at Bethlehem.
Okay.
So
there's a lot of history to
it's a
this.
different form. The form that we play would be the Great Highland bagpipe. It's a Scottish version. And there was different forms of bagpipes, but the Celts themselves, when they left, supposedly, here's your history lesson, they supposedly came from the Mideast, and when they came across Europe, different areas where they stopped in northern Spain, where they play a form of bagpipe today. In Brittany and France, where they play another different style of bagpipe. And of course, they came over to Ireland and then over to Scotland. Irish played something similar to what we play. They used to call it the Great Irish War Pipe. Instead of 3 drones, they played 2 drones, 1 bass drone, 1 tenor drone.
Okay.
And Scots added a second tenor drone, so that we have 3 drones. That's a bit fuller of a sound. And Irish
Can
today.
you play both, or do you just play just one?
We just play the Great Highland.
Okay.
And then of course the Irish are known for another form of bagpipe, which would be the uilleann pipe, which you play seated. It's uilleann, it's elbow, means elbow in Irish or Gaelic, and Irish Gaelic. And you squeeze the bellows with one arm, and the bag is under the other, and you play them seated. And it has different sounding drones and a much sweeter pitch than what the Highland war pipes, the great Highland bagpipes, meant to be played outdoors. They were meant to lead men in battle. They're loud, so you can hear them over screams and yells and cannon fire.
Did you like the sound instantly? The pipes, like I know you're a founding father of the band, but were you prior to? You're like, I've loved the sound
since a kid. You see them in parade. And
yeah, it's unbelievable.
I grew up in Dorchester, and of course there wasn't much access to bands in those days. There's a lot more bands around now than there were
pipe bands?
back in the 70s. Yeah,
for
pipe bands.
Outside of the BPD?
Outside the BPD, there's a band in Charlestown, Bunker Hill. Our instructors come from a band, Stuart Highlanders, are based out of Wilmington, Mass. Okay. And it's probably right now the best pipe band in New England, the Grey 2. It's a fantastic pipe band.
Wow.
And there was within the Boston area, the electricians, the 103rd, have a pipe band.
I've seen them, yeah.
And well, I mean, a lot of these bands.
They don't hold the candles. All right, they do. I was just trying to.
Yeah.
All right, I got to ask the same question to him about the skirt kilt. Do you like wearing a kilt?
It's liberating.
Do you guys? I mean, I know there's historical significance, and I'm just poking fun. But do guys give you a hard time about the uniform? Does anyone make fun of your legs?
No. Okay. No, everybody praises my legs.
Right, because I've heard that.
But it's, like I said, a traditional instrument, so you're going to be dressed in kind of traditional clothing. Attire. And this is, the kilt itself was part of a full, this was the base, and to be a full wrap, which they call the plaid, that Highlanders wore, or they wore in Ireland as well. So you went out on a hunt or a few days in the mountains, the plaid would act as almost like a sleeping bag. You'd pull it around you.
No kidding.
And yes, and this device, the sporran.
Yeah, I got to ask about the sporran. I don't know if we can get a shot of the sporran, guys.
This is actually a dress sporran. I'm not really dressed in full dress uniform right now.
Okay.
But a sporran would be, typically it would be made of animal skin, rabbit, squirrel maybe, and it would be a small pouch. It would be a small bag, it'd snap open, and you'd carry a couple of days' rations.
Okay.
If you're going off into the hunt, going off for a few days, you'd carry some meat in there or whatever, some days food.
So it's not no booze, no liquids, no.
No.
Okay.
No. And but this is a different style. This is actually for a dress uniform, which we don't have on tonight. But you got
the sporran, you got the kilt, the hat, or the
Balmoral.
The Balmoral, we call it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a beret with a tail.
With a little tail.
Yes.
Any significance to the tail, or is just that's what a Balmoral is?
This is what most pipe bands wore or used to wear. They wear a lot now. They go to the Glengarry, which is kind of the they've got a military cap, we used to call them piss cutters in the Air Force, but but this is kind of traditional look. So
all right, we get to start playing some music. So what are we playing tonight?
So we'll play a few patriotic tunes. We're coming up to Memorial Day, so we'll play Grand Old Flag, God Bless America, Yankee Doodle Dandy.
All right. You guys are going to play us out.
America the Beautiful.
While you guys are playing, the website, if people want information about the band, Boston Police Gaelic Column.
BostonPoliceGaelicColumn.com.
All right.
And we're also on Facebook.
1,000 friends?
For those people on Facebook. Yeah, we've
Okay.
been on about a week before St. Patrick's Day. We got the site up and running.
All right. Go to it, grab your stuff. So Facebook, 1,000 fans on Facebook, BostonPoliceGaelicColumn.com if you're just tuning in. You're about to see the band in action. The pipes and drums is what we like to call them. Joe Cheevers, Jeff Lapolis, we got a piper, we got a drummer, and let me tell you right now, these guys can play. So without any further ado, let me step aside and focus in on the band.
1, 2.
Wow. Wow.
Bass drum kit.
Wow, wow, wow. Please, take a seat, gentlemen. Woo! Woohoo! How tough or challenging was you guys seem kind of winded.
Well,
Not so much not so much you, but Joe, I mean, does that take a lot out of you?
it does take a lot out. And I think we have a little air-conditioned studio here, but when you come in from the outside, which it was fairly warm today in the mid to high 70s, and then you come in, like I had a bass drone failure there, and
I didn't want to say anything.
yeah.
But since you brought it up,
My bass drone quit on me,
what
so
happened?
I think I'm going to blame the
AC?
air-conditioned
Yep.
studio here tonight.
I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess the point I'm trying to make is you got to be in shape to play this stuff.
It takes a while to build the stamina. I think the biggest thing is to build your chops, to build the face muscles that so you're constantly blowing, almost like a trumpet player would have to build his face muscles to play.
So how do you
trumpet.
how do you do that?
You
Like
just play. Yeah. If you stop playing, you put the pipes down for 2 weeks, and you come back to play, and it takes a while to get your muscles back, and
I don't think I could do it.
It's a commitment.
There's a commitment to this, and you guys, I think you said earlier, you're practicing together once a week at least.
Once a week.
Okay. And outside of once a week together, are you putting in additional time?
Oh yeah. When we learn music, we'll learn it on a Monday night, and everybody's expected to go home and practice it all week on your own. So when we go back as a band, we can play it together as a band. But you learn the music on your own basically, and that's where you become proficient, and it's and the guys that don't put that time in, it shows. And
What happens to the guys who don't? Are they in the back?
You put the pressure. You put the pressure on them.
They're called drummers.
Yeah.
They're in the back.
Well, let me ask you this, Jeff. I mean, no disrespect to anybody who plays an instrument, but if I were to join the band tomorrow, which isn't going to happen, but I would be more inclined to pick the drums. Do you think the drums are easier to play than the pipes, or?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had a drum up.
Anybody go from the drums to the pipes?
We have. Tom Sexton did, and
Tommy Sexton.
And to this day, he still claims the drums are a harder instrument. I don't know why, but.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting to me. I would think the opposite. But now, Jeff, you had some experience. You played the drums before?
I did. I played drums all through school. So.
Okay.
Jeff is also a dance instructor, in case you're ever looking for a dance instructor.
Yeah, for what the salsa, the forbidden dance, lambada, what exactly?
Thrash metal.
Thrash metal. Okay.
Yeah, he's quite the dance instructor.
Forbidden dance.
Now you guys have your own website, BostonPoliceGaelicColumn.com, and you do parades. We see you all the time. Again, you guys look good, sound great, but you're also available. You're like, guns for hire. If somebody has a wedding or something along those lines.
We've done many a convention in town. The band will perform at you name it, Lumberman's convention, the Yankee Dentist convention that comes in every year is a big. We used to do. You name it, we've done them. And
weddings, funerals. And it's funny. I think of the funeral. My aunt passed away a couple of years ago, and didn't know there was going to be a member of the band there. And we came out, and the piper was playing "Amazing Grace," and it was unbelievably emotional. It made funerals. There's nothing fun about funerals, obviously, but it was such a nice touch, so respectful. It's amazing.
It does add a nice touch, and you go to funerals. If I go to funerals now where there isn't a piper, it's like there's something missing where I'm at a funeral for someone. And but if you get a good piper and they play tunes that if it was a native Scotsman, a native Irish person, you get to play tunes from wherever the Galway Bay or tunes that from County Cork to play them off. It just adds so much.
It completes it. Like you said, it's almost it's a nice touch. It's respectful, and it almost completes the occasion. It's a nice way to, I guess, for lack of a better, to send somebody out with song. But if people were interested in hiring a piper or a drummer, how would they go about that process?
They can go right to the website, BostonPoliceGaelicColumn.com. There's a page to contact the band.
Okay, and they can just enter their information there, and you guys will follow up at a time.
Sure.
We got a couple minutes, 2 minutes to go before we go out. You've been involved with a ton of events. Is there one favorite event that you've had that comes to mind for you right off the top of your head?
For me personally, in the Boston area, we played the opening and closing ceremonies of the Ryder Cup back in the Country Club.
Which was awesome.
1999 was a great feeling. But for me personally, when we go back to Ireland, my grandparents came from West Cork. That just happens to be the area we go back to play, where we have a lot of connections to Bantry and to Cork City and to Murphy's Brewery there, Murphy's Irish Stout. And
you guys don't. You've never been known to.
We'll partake on occasion.
Okay, you have. All right, I wasn't sure about that.
But we get to go
back. Once in a while, a little bit.
We actually get to go back, and I have all my relatives. I have more relatives in Ireland and West Cork than I do in the United States, it seems. And we get to have both sides. My grandmother's family and my grandfather's family will come out to see us.
So you like the Bruce Springsteen upon your return?
It's
pretty close.
The Gaelic Column is like
You too.
The U2 of America going back.
You're kidding me.
It's
All
a
right.
big, it's a big thing.
Last question to you. What's your favorite event? And then we're going to say goodnight.
Probably the Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys.
When we came out on stage before they played, it was amazing.
Awesome.
It was amazing. Awesome.
All right. Well, that's the word to describe you guys. Love having you come on. I say it
for
every
having
time I
us.
see Joe, I say favorite Call the Cop show we ever did, the best Call the Cop show we do. For more information about the Pipes and Drums, BostonPoliceGaelicColumn.com. These guys rock, and I want to thank Joe and Jeff for coming on tonight's show. Thank you for watching. Till next time, have a great week, everybody. Good night and be safe.